All right, here's 6-1, day 2. Topic is still the law of sines, and we're actually still on this ambiguous case. So right off the bat, because again, we kind of split this topic over the last 2 lessons. I kind of left you hanging after the first one a little bit, where I showed you an ambiguous case where there was only one solution, and then I showed you one where there was none. Okay, let's keep in mind here that there really is one circumstance in which you have to be thinking about, like, oh, is there more than one possibility? And always be thinking about your case. And this is it. Notice I have 2 sides, but the angle that I know is not in between the 2 sides. Okay? So if I were to say this is A, this is B, and this is C, right? You're already seeing here that I have both possibilities drawn in on this diagram, because that's the whole thing. Is you can't, from this information, you can reduce it down to 2 possible triangles, but not 1. So as soon as I realize that it is side-side angle, I immediately go to that. Okay. Case 1, you just do your thing with the law of sines. Okay. The only thing I could find is C. The opposite side is 31 meters. And then I only have 1 pair of angle and side that are opposite that I know. Sine of 20.5 degrees over 12. Okay. Now, for the sake of space here, I'm not going to write out the step to get it. Right. You would multiply both sides by 31. Okay. You've seen that in countless other examples. I don't want this to get too cluttered with our second case. But when you do that, you would get that the sine of C is 0.905. You would do the inverse, and you would get that that angle is 64.8 degrees, which would be right there. So right now what I'm solving for here is this bigger triangle. From all this, I now know that one is 94.7. And all I have left to find over here is side length B, which I can easily do now, because I've got enough information to do it. So B over the sine of 94.7 degrees. And I'll go back and use that same pair. I'll have to switch it though, because I put the side lengths on top. 12 over the sine of 20.5. Multiply both sides by the sine of 94.7 degrees. And I get that B is about 34.2 meters. And the triangle's been solved. We got all missing sides and missing angles. Okay? Sort of. Okay? Sort of. The issue is right here. Okay? If you compare it to the single solution case that we looked at in day 1, the issue arises in the same place. Okay, and I need to check this, all right, because in case 2, where I got going was that the sine of C was approximately 0.905. Okay? And I then came to the conclusion that that means that angle C is 64.8. Okay? Or if I took 180, right, this is a rule that's unique to sine, that if you take an answer that you got from your inverse and you subtract it from 180, you get an angle with the same sine value. So here is where the issue starts. Okay? And I would encourage you, if you have a calculator on you that does inverse trig functions, that check this, that 64.8 degrees and 115.2, they have the exact same sine value, about 0.905. Okay, that helps to make sure that you understand what's going on. Okay, that's when we did the inverse, both of these angles could be in a triangle. Okay. So there's kind of my other angle C, that would be 115.2. Now you might think, well, wait a minute, that we already found that side length B was 34.2. The way you should look at the diagram is the only thing that can't change is the stuff in green. That's the information that I was given. Okay, those measurements are fixed. Angle B wasn't given and therefore isn't fixed. Okay? So now if I went up to angle B, and this is really what you need to check to see is the second case possible. Because at this point I actually haven't even verified it. Take 180. Of course we have the 20.5. Now take away the 115.2 and we get 44.3. If you look back at example number 3, when we only had a single case, when we did this, we got like negative 18 degrees, which is obviously impossible. 44.3 degrees is not impossible. So if angle C was 115.2, that would mean B would have to be 44.3, and here's the big difference. It could be. Okay? That third angle could be 44.3 degrees. Now down here you'll see the exact same thing. I'm solving to get B, but now I'm saying the angle opposite is 44.3, 12 meters and 20.5 degrees. That was fixed, and those can't change. But notice when I do it, I get a side length that is significantly smaller. Because for case number 2, here's the triangle that I'm talking about. Case number 1, by the way, was this. If we went all the way over here and then over and there. Okay? So which of the two is the right solution? Both? Neither? Both is the best way to put it. From the information that we were given, you can't reduce it down to a single triangle. With the side-side angle case, it's possible there are 2 different triangles that could be the solution. Okay, if this case comes up, right, and it's only in the side-side angle case, you would be expected to check for both cases and find the second if that applied. It won't always. You've got examples of each now. All right. Switching gears here a little bit. This is not an ambiguous case. I'm going to give you another formula for the area of a triangle. Because I bet you anything, if I said, hey, give me a formula for the area of a triangle, you would have probably said that. Okay? So I'm going to give you here is, it's kind of like what I did with the law of sines. It's kind of like the basic logic behind a proof of this formula, but it's not really. So let's say this is A, that's angle B up here, Here's our height. In reality, there's actually lots of different formulas to find the area of a three-sided polygon or a triangle. Okay, 1/2 base times height is just one of the most basic and one of the first that you learn. Our goal in this new formula, which you'll see it comes back to this section because we're going to do it with a sine function, is to get rid of this h. This new formula is going to give us a way to get the area of a triangle, and we don't have to know the height of it. All right? Here's how it works. I'm going to go from angle A, and I'm going to say that the sine value of A, and I'm just thinking about the right triangle that's formed by the height. So the opposite side would be H, hypotenuse is C. Okay, and multiplying both sides by C, I get that. Okay, I am all set up at this point that I can make a substitution. 1/2 is going to stay. Side length B will stay. But H is out, and C sine A is in. So in this case, what I have is I'm saying if I know this side, and this side, and the angle in between, okay? And that's the one thing that I want you to see in this more than anything else, that this applies to any scenario where you have the side angle side case. Okay, if you have that and you don't have the height, okay, you don't need it. You could still proceed and get the area of that triangle. Okay, that's the big thing. Because if you want to, like, you could go and you could name all the angles and the sides. Okay, I really don't need to. 1/2. Take the first side, you know. The second side, you know, and then the sine value of the angle in between. Number crunch all that, and we have 324.55 meters squared. Okay, and you've got your area. Be clear on this. This has nothing to do with the ambiguous case. Okay, so in that previous example in 5 to this one, we switched gears. Okay, we were getting the area of that triangle, not angles or side lengths. Okay, it just gets lumped into this section because this new formula we have is based on using the sine function to replace the height. All right, one more problem for section 1, quick application of the law of sines. I want to teach you how to read these directional bearings. Okay? You'll see these come up a little bit in application problems, and they're kind of fun to do. I think they're fun anyway. You might not. All right, so here's how this would be read. I'm starting at point A, and the first direction that it gives you is the direction that you are facing. Okay, so when this boat is at point A, it's facing south. Okay? And then the way you rotate is that direction. Okay, so they were facing south, but then they rotated 52 degrees, and that is the direction that they were heading. 52 degrees west of south. Okay, you can just read it as south, 52 degrees west. And then they switch directions. Notice they're still facing south, but their course changes. Okay, so start facing south, and then they switch 40 degrees to the east of that. And that is the direction that they're going. And then they went due north and got back where they started. Okay? 8 kilometers for this triangle that's formed as side length B. To get the whole course, we'd need the 3 sides added together. C we don't know, A we don't know. Okay, so this triangle is formed by the race that they did, but 2 of those side lengths we got to find. Okay? Now, I'm jumping back out of that area formula we just did. So be clear, that gives you area. This problem isn't going to have anything to do with that because I don't want the area formed by the course. I want the length. Okay? So I'm just going back to my regular law of sines. Okay? So this is the part I really need you to see because this is a little bit tricky. Both of those sides on the diagram go north and south. In other words, they're parallel. Okay? Because what I'm really stuck on now are angles. Okay? So this 40-degree angle right there, it's helpful, not directly because that angle's not in the triangle, but it does mean this one down here. Okay? See how that side length basically connects the 2 sides that I drew that were parallel. Okay, so that's 40, right? And then it's a breeze. You've got 2 of the 3, and of course you can find the third because they all have to add up to 180. Okay, but that's a big part to identify angle C was 40. Then we're kind of off and away. Side length C over the sine of 40 equals 8 over the sine of 88. Multiply both sides by the sine of 40 degrees. And side length C would be about 5.15. Last thing is to find A. I'm still going to use this pair of 8 over sine of 88. About the only thing it changes here is if I want to find side length A, it's got to go over sine of 52, which means side length A is 6.31. All right, so total length of the course would be 8. Whoop, wrong marker. We knew that one, plus 6.31 that we just found, plus 5.15, giving you a total distance of 16.46.